Peace in Sudan's disputed oil-rich Abyei region remains fragile. Troops from northern Sudan are in control of the area after seizing control last weekend. Salva Kiir, the president of southern Sudan, says he is not going to instigate war against the north over control of the region. Clashes earlier this month between forces from the north and south killed 14 people. Negotiations between the north and south over key issues have not produced significant movement. Joining us now from our New York bureau for more perspective on the situation in Sudan is our correspondent Margaret Bashir. Hi, Margaret.
Hi, Demi.
What update can you give us on what the UN has said, at least in terms of reaction at this point of what's going on in the Abyei region, which is escalating?
Well, as you know, the Security Council has returned from Sudan. They were in Juba and Khartoum this week and met with officials there. And both the Security Council and the UN Secretary General have really come out with strong statements. They've condemned the violence. They've called on both parties to stop military operations, to withdraw their forces and armed elements from Abyei. So they're very concerned about this escalation. And I think we've seen a deterioration over several weeks, and now it's sort of culminating, and we're just 7 weeks out from the South's Independence Day. So it's a very troublesome time for all of this to be flaring up.
And the North has said that the Abyei region belongs to it, and that it is not going or is not planning to withdraw from that region at this point. What leverage does the US or the UN have at the moment in terms of pressuring the North to move out?
Well, I believe the North has said they won't pull out of Abyei until outstanding issues are resolved. So maybe that's the key. You know, now we have Salva Kiir saying today that the South won't go back to war. We have the North saying we won't pull out, but we want outstanding issues resolved. So that's the trick. Let's get everybody back to the negotiating table before July 9th. That's what the CPA says. They have to resolve the border issue. They have to resolve how they're going to share the oil. They have to resolve how they're going to split Sudan's $38 billion debt. So these are major issues that were put aside in 2005 so that they could have a peace agreement. But now they're coming back to haunt them, really, because we really are so close to seeing independence. So perhaps this is all just a bit of posturing on both their sides. Abyei is the bargaining chip, it always has been, and perhaps this flare-up is related to the fact that we're coming so close to the independence date. But analysts are very concerned, and politicians are very concerned that this could reignite another civil war in Sudan, which would just, be terrible at this point.
What really is at stake for the North here in terms of needing to at least meet some of the demands of the international community and the South to pull out of the Abyei region at this point? We know that the Special Envoy, Princeton Lyman, will be heading out there, and as you said, a delegation has just come back from the region. What really is at stake for the North?
Right. Well, Princeton Lyman is the U.S. Special Envoy for Sudan, and he said earlier this week that the North's reaction to this to the southern forces in Abyei was disproportionate. I think he used the word disproportionate and irresponsible. And he says that it's threatening both the CPA and the United States' efforts to normalize relations with Sudan. You know, we've had very bad relations with Sudan for many, many decades. So he's saying, we have promised debt relief. We've promised to take Sudan off the state sponsor of terrorism list. These things could be in jeopardy if Khartoum doesn't cool it.
Thank you so much, Margaret Bashir. We appreciate you joining us from New York.